Right, hello and welcome back to another video. Today's video I'm here to give you 5 talking points from the Luton versus West Brom game where it ended a 1-1 draw for both teams. Before I do, drop a like on today's video, comment below what you learned from the game against West Brom, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, let's get on with the video. I am recording this video on the day of the game. I'm gonna record this while it's still fresh in my head. And yeah, talking point number 1, Hashi. Hashi has struggled being a Luton Town player, and I think it's fair to say that. I would argue it's not his fault. He's been thrown straight into the deep end, I have to be honest, and he's been playing out of position for majority of his time. He was brought in during the Premier League season, got thrown straight into the team, was meant to be playing as a right wing back, ended up playing as a centre half, which isn't his position. And yeah, he didn't look too good playing in that position, let's be honest. He does look quite weak, and then when he came across anyone who could bully him, he would shy away from it, or he would easily get knocked off the ball. However, when we saw him play as a right wing back tonight, well, in the game against West Brom, he actually looked really good. I thought his tackling was really good, interceptions, passing ability, I thought he won quite a bit in the air, and considering he isn't the tallest, it was quite good. He also nearly scored from the corner, hit the post or bar, and yeah, I thought overall it was probably one of the best games he's had in a Luton shirt, and that's what happens when you play players in their natural position. And fingers crossed going forward in the game against Cardiff, in the game against Middlesbrough away from home, we keep playing him as a right wing back. With Tom Holmes and Alfie coming back into the side following their suspensions, it strengthens Luton massively at the back, and hopefully it continues to allow players to play in their natural position and we look a lot stronger as a team. But going back to Hashi, it was a very good performance from him. Hopefully fans can start now realising why we brought him in and not be too overly critical of him because he played out of position before the game against West Brom. I feel like he was getting a little bit of negative feedback online because he was playing out of position. It's not his fault he's playing as a centre half, is it? So now he's playing as a right wing back. He looked great, and hopefully we see more improved performances. He isn't the finished article either. He's going to get better. He's still young. So yeah, fingers crossed, onwards and upwards with him, and yeah, we keep seeing really good performances. Another player which I do want to bring up, and that brings us to talking point number 2, is Chong. Chong is also another player that online I feel like gets overly criticised. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to watch football with my eyes. Stats, the data, it's amazing when I think you use it correctly. I feel like when people pick out a player, they just look at the stats, they look at the data, well, what's his numbers looking like? No, watch the game with your eyes and then look at the numbers. But watch the game with your eyes first. Now with me, when I watch Chong play, he's the only one in our team that can pick up the ball and run at defenders and cause players problems. There's many teams across the Championship, he did it in the Premier League as well, where he picks up the ball and he will drive at you and he will cause you problems. And what do defenders hate defending against? They hate defending against wingers that are tricky with good dribbling ability. On a few occasions against West Brom, he picked up the ball and he ran at them, and you saw how difficult it was for the West Brom defenders in trying to defend against him. And one of the goals, well, his goal, it came from, basically it was a poor pass from the West Brom midfielder. He picks the ball up, I think it was a little bit of a skill to beat the fullback, and he runs towards goal, you know, with his dribbling ability, and he puts in he actually has a fantastic finish at goal. He can do that. We need to see more of it. Of course, I'm not gonna praise him to the roof. We need to see more of that on a regular basis because we don't see that often. However, he is the only player in our team that gives us something different. Sometimes I feel like Luton, we are very predictable. We go long and we expect the ball to drop in certain areas. That's not really Chong's game. And also, Chong isn't someone who's going to do 100%, you know, defensive work. In fact, I'm actually impressed with the defensive work Chong actually does, because that's not his strengths. His strengths is getting the ball and running at the fullback. And when he got moved into the left wing back role, which I'm not a fan of, by the way, but it worked on this particular occasion because we didn't lose the match. When he was picking up the ball out on the left hand side, Furlong, who I believe the West Brom fullback, he was struggling against Chong, and Chong was able to, you know, cut inside, he was able to go on the outside, and it makes life really difficult. And then when you've got two strikers in the box who can, you know, do those sudden movements or get on the end of things, it gives us another outlet. Whereas at times I feel like when we've got Alfie playing out wide or Hashi on the right, our wing backs don't really take on players. Chong's the only one in the team who I actually think takes on players, and he gets me on the edge of my seat. I don't know what he's going to do next. We need players like him, because that's what I grew up watching. I grew up watching players that excited me, and I feel like modern day football, we're slowly going away from that. We're too busy going with the passing and moving, which isn't what I really want. I want players that can excite me, and Chong's definitely someone who can excite, and I feel like he is getting overly criticised. Of course, the numbers need to be a bit better, but it will get better when the team starts performing. So that's talking point number 2. Talking point number 3, set pieces. Now, these set pieces, I have to admit, without Alfie, although we nearly scored from one, you know, Baptiste took one, and it was Baptiste and Moses that took the set pieces against West Brom. Now, they weren't amazing, but there was something different, and I do think we need to get into the habit of, I know Alfie's going to take a lot of our set pieces, but let's change it about a little bit. Let's not just make it be one player all the time. Let's show it, let's be a little bit different. You know, Baptiste has proven he can take a good set piece, so let him take a couple of corners if Alfie's not doing the job. Let's change it about a little bit. We didn't look like we were going to score from a corner despite hitting the post on one occasion, but apart from that, we didn't really come close really. But I want to see more variety on our corners and set pieces. We're one of the best in the league, so let's show why we're one of the best, and let's be a little bit adaptable in terms of our set pieces. But talking about our set pieces, obviously Alfie coming back, that brings us to talking point number 4. Alfie and Tom Holmes are coming back for the game against Cardiff, which does mean we are a lot more stronger defensively, which means, as I already mentioned in this video, players can now play in their natural position, but it also makes us a little bit stronger, and it also gives Edwards a few question marks. Does he continue to play Amari Bell? Does he play Tito Menji? Does Holmes get thrown straight back in? I feel like Alfie's going to get thrown straight back in. I think that's quite clear. Hopefully Moses didn't get injured. I know he got subbed off at half time. I don't know if that was a tactical decision. But yeah, fingers crossed that is okay. But we have to manage our defenders now. Menji and Amari Bell should not be playing 90 minutes in a row after coming back from injury. They should not be thrown in. Okay, it's great that they came in ahead of schedule, fantastic, and walked away injury free, brilliant, but that doesn't mean they play 90 minutes against Cardiff, 90 minutes against Middlesbrough, because if they pick up another knock, that injury could be a lot more serious than the previous one. And it goes back to this cycle of our defenders coming back from injury, picking up another knock, injured again, and we're going full like 180. Players then play out of position. We lose more matches because we've got no players playing in their correct position, and we get frustrated. So we need to manage these players. It's a long season. Games come quick and fast at you. Luton traditionally don't do well with a 3-game week, so we need to be a bit better at it. Manage the squad. Hopefully we make the substitutions. And that brings me to talking point number 5, the substitutions. Normally when a team, when fans start booing subs, it causes a few problems. It normally says that the manager is walking away, but I actually thought the subs did okay. And I thought Baptiste and Walsh, and I want to talk about those two players in particular. Now, Luton, we are sometimes very one-dimensional. We kind of beat the midfield with our defenders. We go long to Elijah or Morris or Brown, and we basically hope that they win the ball up in the air or win the battle on the ground, link up the play with the midfield. When you've got someone like Baptiste and Walsh on the pitch, two players in particular who are very good on the ball, they like to receive the ball on the half turn or however you give the ball to them, and they can find players a lot better. In the game against West Brom, I thought the game kind of suited someone like Joe Taylor, someone who can run in behind, because we don't really have that type of striker. And someone like Baptiste, someone like Walsh, they can find those types of strikers, or they can put in quality balls out wide into the box, so it gives us another outlet. Those two players give us a plan B. It's what I'm basically trying to say, and I think it's very important we have a plan B. I would like us to start playing Baptiste and Walsh more. Of course, suspensions and injuries have played a factor in that, but I do believe Baptiste is someone who can be a very important player for Luton if he stays fit. When he started the season off with us, he was involved in our goals at the start. He's someone who can be a really good player, and I was really happy when we signed him, because I thought, wow, we've got a really good player on our hands. And I watched what he did when he was at Oxford, and I watched what he did at Brentford. It was really good. So we need him to stay fit. If he stays fit, and same with Walsh as well, I do think we've got two really good players on our hands, and they both didn't cost us anything. So that's our plan B, but we need them to stay fit. So that brings me to the end of this video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. Drop a like, comment below what you learned from the game, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my match preview, which will be against Cardiff. That will come out on Tuesday, so yeah, I'll see you guys then.